Hello, my name is Juan Cabrera-Garcia, and I'm the State Extension Specialist for Horticulture, and today I'm going to talk about hydroponic nutrient solution recipes. Before we move on, let's talk about what hydroponic nutrient solution means. Basically, when you mix water with fertilizers, that's what we call hydroponic nutrient solution. Obviously, the main purpose of a nutrient solution program is first to provide all the essential elements that our plants need to grow. Second is making sure that those elements are in the optimum quantities for plant growth. And third, making sure that the plants are able to uptake those elements and that those elements are available for plant uptake. And when we talk about the factors that influence plant uptake and availability of these elements, we're talking about root pH management, root health, irrigation that deals with water uptake, and proper fertilizer mixing. These are the management steps for hydroponic nutrient solution. Obviously, the first one is you need to know the quality of your water source to determine if you need to make adjustments or if you need water treatments before you decide to grow hydroponic crops. Next, obviously, you want to research nutrient solution requirements for the specific crops. Basically, you want to look at the nutrient levels required for each crop stage and what is the proper or recommended pH for that specific crop. Then you need to calculate how much fertilizer you need to match those nutrient requirements to make sure that you provide the adequate amounts in your nutrient solution program. After you have those calculations, then you can start preparing nutrient solutions. Then after you prepare the nutrient solution, you measure the pH and the electrical conductivity. Sometimes if you're doing deep water culture hydroponic, you need to also measure dissolved oxygen. If the pH is off range after you mix in the fertilizers, you need to adjust the pH as needed. And then once you're growing the crops, keep monitoring that pH because it will change over time and it's not going to be the same. So you need to constantly monitor and adjust the pH to keep it in range so that the plants can take up nutrients. The first three steps can be outsourced to MU Extension or your local extension service in your state. Here at the University of Missouri, we had the soil testing laboratory that offers irrigation water tests. And we have extension specialists that can help you research the specific requirements for your crops, and then they can help you calculate those nutrient solutions. But today, I'm here to talk to you about how to calculate this. We're going to go into one of our extension publications that has a tool that will let you calculate these nutrient solutions. All right, now I'm going to show you where you can find these nutrient solution calculator. So you go to extension.missouri.edu. That's our extension website. You're going to notice that on the top right corner, there's a search box. We're just going to type in hydroponic nutrient solution and hit enter. First result is going to take you to our publication that talks about hydroponic nutrient solutions. Here's where you can find more information about what influences availability of nutrient solutions and how to set up injectors and how to test for pH NEC in the root zone. You can download the PDF here if you're interested in printing this and having this as a resource. The reason why I wanted to show you this is because we have a nutrient solution calculator. All right, so you're going to click on it and it's going to start a download. You download it, then you open it, and this is what the spreadsheet will look like. You notice there's going to be different tabs here at the bottom. First one is the introduction, and it has the link to the extension publication that I just showed you earlier. And then it has instructions on how to use the calculator, which I'm going to walk you through right now, how to use it. So we go to the third tab, which is the actual calculator tool. First, let's go over the calculator in the different sections. Before we start using it, let's do a quick overview. So the first part here says step 1. This is where you put the results of your water test report from your irrigation suitability test. Second part is where you set up your crop. What crop you're going to be making hydroponic nutrient solution for. And just To give you a quick heads up, the yellow cells or the tan cells are the ones where you input data. The gray cells are just informational data that will help for calculation. You don't do anything with those cells. And then the blue cells here are the ones that give you some results. Second step is where you set up your crop. Third step is where you set up the fertilizers that you have in stock or the fertilizers that you're thinking about getting. Fourth step is just verifying that the amounts of the fertilizer that you put in step 3 are actually meeting the requirements of the crop. And this is a big table, but the main focus should be on these bottom row cells. So the cell that's in red color right now, this one is going to turn red if your nutrient solution is under the requirement. Next row is going to be what is the actual requirement for the crop. And the last row is going to tell you percentage-wise how much your current recipe deviates from the requirement. And then at the bottom, you start to see here's where we give you here's where the recipe takes form. It tells you how many grams in 10 gallons you need for each of the fertilizers, or grams in 10 liters. Sorry, ounces per 10 gallons and grams in 10 liters. Now, if you're using an injector set at 1 to 100, this is how much you need, how many grams of liter, or how many grams per liter, or grams per 10 liter, ounces per 10 gallons, and pounds per gallon you need to put to make that stock solution that will be sucked in by the fertilizer injector. And if you know the cost of the fertilizer, it's going to give you a quick cost on how much it's going to cost, how much that nutrient solution is going to cost for every 10 liters of nutrient solutions that you make. This is the main tool. We also have the data set that the tool's feeding on, and it gives you the chance to add new crops. So if you keep scrolling all the way to the right, this is the data set for the fertilizers. And you are able to enter 2 new fertilizers here. And if you keep scrolling to the right, this is the data set for the hydroponic crops and the requirements for each crop in parts per million. And down here, well, here you have a way to enter 1 new crop in this calculator, right? So you enter what are the requirements for the crop, what is the pH, the high range and the low range of the pH, and then here are some sources for where these numbers came from. Let's go ahead and start playing with this. Let's assume that we had a water test report that we submitted, and that we had, like, say, 2 parts per million phosphorus. Let's say we have, 15 potassium, 10 calcium, 0 magnesium, and so on. Let's say this is our water test report, and it had a pH of 7.5 and a pH of 0.5, which is low, right? An EC of 0.5. And let's assume we're going to be doing, let's do lettuce because it's simple. But I wanted to show you that when you click on the lettuce cell, it shows up this button here that you can click, and you're going to have the drop down menu. And there's the option to enter in a new crop. And I showed you earlier where you go there to enter a new crop. Later, I'm going to show how to enter that crop. So let's go lettuce, and let's select the fertilizers now. Oh, one thing I forgot to mention is, let's say you put in the current pH of the nutrient solution, and this is going to tell you some information about it, right? This cell here next to it. Let's say our pH was 7.5, and this text is going to tell you the pH level is outside the normal range. And if you say, let's say, well, I tested the pH and it was 6 this morning, and it's going to tell you the pH is optimal for the crop that we selected here. Okay. Let's select the fertilizers. The industry standard for lettuce is a 2-bag system, where we're going to use a something 3-bag, that we're going to use the 5-12-26 or 5-11-26 fertilizer. And we're going to use the 15-00 to provide the calcium. And the way I start using this spreadsheet is trial and error, right? So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to start entering a random amount here, and I'm going to see how this bottom part of this table looks like. How close am I getting to the requirement? I'm going to start with the calcium, because calcium is critical for lettuce. If you don't have enough calcium, you're going to end up having tip burn, and that's going to affect the marketability. So it is crucial that we provide the calcium. So let's meet the calcium requirement. randomly, without thinking, I'm just gonna put a number. Let's put 5, and this means 5 grams per 10 liters of solution. And if you notice here, let's go back and do 0 again. Calcium, when this is 0, it tells you that we are under. It's red. We're only providing 10, which is coming from the water test report here. And then I added a 5 in the step 3 here. And notice that now the calcium is met. I mean, good. Randomly, I was able to meet the calcium requirement. The current recipe is over 16% of the requirement. I can lower this a little bit more, let's say 4.75, to get it to around 10-11% over the requirement, which I feel safe about keeping that 10% over the requirement for calcium. Let's meet the other nutrients. The 1500 is going to provide you only calcium and nitrogen, right? And notice that the nitrogen changed here. So now instead of providing 0 nitrogen, we're providing 73 parts per million. Let's meet the rest of the requirements with the other fertilizer. In this case, we have the 5.26. And let's say we're gonna put 5. I'm just randomly picking a number. And notice that a lot of the nutrients, the requirements were met. The unfortunate thing with this recipe is that phosphorus for crops that have little requirement is gonna be over. But let's try to meet the nitrogen requirement right now. So we're still under for nitrogen and we're still under for potassium and magnesium. So let's try to bump this up to 6. Now, if you're concerned about phosphorus being 200%, right, you can replace the 5.26 and try to find another fertilizer, like a complete fertilizer formulation that will give you micronutrients that has a lower phosphorus requirement and a little bit higher nitrogen. So let's pick one that has lower phosphorus, because this is 11% phosphorus. Let's pick one that's lower than 11. Let's see, let's try 21,620. So notice that we met the nitrogen, we met the phosphorus, we're still lacking in magnesium and sulfate. So in this case, we can lower the nitrogen requirement. And it's okay because we can add other fertilizers here to match the requirement for potassium and magnesium, because we're over the nitrogen. Let's lower this a little bit. So let's lower it a little bit. I lower it to 5 because we met the phosphorus requirement. We're still a little bit over the nitrogen requirement for about 20%. But let's try to match the potassium and magnesium. It's not going to be perfect. You're going to have some elements that are going to be over, but we don't want to be under, right? And we don't want to be like, 50% over the requirement for some elements. So we're lacking potassium and magnesium. One way to provide magnesium is going to use Epsom salts. And we had to find a fertilizer that would just provide potassium, which can be the 0021. And we can start swapping in numbers. Let's say I'm gonna add 1. That didn't do much to the magnesium here. Let's do 2, 3. All right, so with 3 grams, let's do 2.5. We met the magnesium requirement, but we're still short on potassium. So let's add just 1. Let's see what happens. That didn't do much, so let's do 3. Still not there. Let's do 4. Close, and let's do 4.5. Right, so we make the magnesium requirements, and obviously for this case we might need to provide some micro elements in the future, so we can add those here. But let's start this example here. So this is what the fertilizer, the hydroponic nutrient solution recipe is going to look like, and this is the rate in 10 gallons, how many ounces you need, or how many grams in 10 liters, right? If you're using injectors, this is what it will look like. If you have a 1:100 ratio injector, the concentrated solution that the injector is going to pull the solution from needs to have these concentration in terms of grams per liter, grams per 10 liters, ounces per 10 gallons, and pounds per gallon, right? This is how that's going to look like. And let's say I'm assuming these were the cost of these fertilizers, and I added in, and it's going to tell you what the cost of 10 liters of nutrient solution is going to be. Okay, so let's talk about entering a new crop and entering a new fertilizer. So let's say you found out a research paper that came up with a new hydroponic nutrient solution. Let's say you found a new hydroponic solution for sage, right? So we have entered a new crop. So we're gonna go all the way to the right. And to this cell, aka, I'm just gonna add the new crop, sage here, and make sure that the case sense and the spelling is the same, because this calculator is gonna pull from here. So we're gonna write sage here, and then we're gonna write sage here again. Okay. So notice that if we go back here and you scroll down here, sage is gonna show up as a new crop. Okay. Then you start to add the requirements. I'm just gonna add random numbers. Like, I do not know what the actual recipe is. I haven't looked for it, but let's say it's 100, let's say it's 30, and let's say it's, I don't know, 45 here. This is not realistic. This is just random numbers that I put it in. And let's stop there, and let's say that the optimum pH for sage will be, I don't know, 5.5. On the high end, it's gonna be 6.5, and on the lower end, it's gonna be 5.5. Okay. Now we can start playing around and notice that the crop requirement is gonna show up here. What we input in there, and we can start playing around with this calculator here. Let's say sage, we're just gonna need to meet some of the, right. So we see here that with 5 grams, we're meeting the requirements for sage, exceeding the requirement for potassium. So we might try to look for another fertilizer that has lower potassium in this case and play around. But in this case, let's match the calcium requirements. 3.5. Okay, so we met the calcium requirement for sage here in this requirement, and this is going to be our recipe, these 2 fertilizers. Let's say you have found a new fertilizer. Let's add the new fertilizer here. Let's say you found a new source for nitrogen. So let's go to enter new fertilizer 1 here. So we scroll all the way to the right, and we find enter new fertilizer 1, and we type in the number, the fertilizer. Let's say we're gonna call it fertilizer sage. And then from the label, the fertilizer label, you're gonna write in the percentages, what percentages of each of the nutrients we have in this fertilizer label, right? I'm just dropping in numbers. Let's say 15 percent nitrogen. Now this one allows you to break it down by the different types of nitrogen, but let's say we're just gonna put the 15. It's okay if you leave this one's empty. Let's say phosphate, we have, I don't know, 2%, and then let's say it has 21% potassium, right? And that's it. So now we can search in for fertilizer sage here. Here we go. And this is the new recipe. Well, this is what accounting for what that fertilizer looks like. And that's it. That's the nutrient solution calculator.